Well, a very good evening to you and welcome to the second half on Pure West Sport with Eaton-Evans and Morris Solicitors. We are live on the Facebook page right now, as well as all the usual places that you listen to Pure West Radio, and it's good to be with you this Monday evening. On the way, of course, we will start with a roundup of some of the highlights from the weekend's cricket action, where bowlers in the main had a pretty good Saturday across Pembrokeshire, but there were one or two batting performances to pick out as well. After the second round of matches across the county in Division 1, it's Neyland, Cresselly and Carew setting the early pace, but we'll review that and we'll look ahead to a double header of matches coming up, of course, over the bank holiday weekend. We've also got news on the new Rugby National League structure and how it affects Pembrokeshire sides. Our guest tonight will be Gareth Schofield, making a welcome return to the show to preview the Valero Sevens event coming up next month. But there's plenty more to get our teeth into as well. So let's get going. Gordon Thomas with me this evening in the studio. Hi Gordon, how are you?
I'm very good, Ben. What a glorious weekend it was for the most of us in Pembrokeshire. After the weekend, the sun was shining. There was some good cricket being played. I happened to go to Johnson, Hook and Langham. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Absolutely, and it was good, wasn't it, for the weather to be nice and to get a full day of play right the way across the county. And after the full start in April, it's important that, Gordon, isn't it, that we actually get some matches played.
Yeah, they got it right in the end. The weather's actually changed a little bit. I shouldn't say that now. It'll probably be awful.
Yeah.
Bank holiday weekend coming. But yeah, the first 2 weeks have been encouraging. Some decent weather with some decent cricket. I think the boys have been enjoying it.
Absolutely right. I think that the forecast may be just a bit unsettled for the next couple of days, but hopefully Saturday not looking too bad at the moment. So we'll keep fingers crossed. Let's get into Division 1 first of all, and we'll pick out some of the highlights. I mentioned familiar names, Gord at the top of the table. It's only two games, isn't it? But Neyland, Cresselly, Carew kind of setting the early pace. I'll give you the results, and then maybe we can comment on some of the scores as well. So a full rundown in Division 1. Cresselly beat St Ishmael's by 22 runs. Carew beat Haverfordwest by 9 wickets. Loreni beat Narberth by 1 run, which we'll get to in a sec. Neyland were winners at Langham convincingly by 10 wickets. And Saundersfoot beat Whitlam by 45 runs. And actually, despite the good weather, Gord, we might have thought it would be a batting day on Saturday. Wasn't quite the case, was it?
No, I think there's still a little bit of moisture in the wickets, and they're not playing true at the moment, to be honest with you, Ben. Even though we've had a good spell of weather, it was good to watch Johnson on. You're talking about bowlers in Division 2. Barry Griffiths he took 5 wickets with his cagey spin bowling for Carew seconds, which set them up for a nice win. But in Division 1, it was Yori Hicks out of, I think it was 4 wickets against Haverfordwest, and they were out quite cheap. I think you said it was about 40-odd runs. So having Haverfordwest beating Langham quite easily last week, they had their comeuppance this week against Carew, who beat them quite comfortably. And they beat them earlier in the week in the Dougie Morris as well.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Haverfordwest were all out for 49. Carew ripping through them, really. Yori Hicks 4 for 13. Joel Reid had 3 wickets as well in that match, and they knocked them off quite easily. One game to mention in Division 1 though, that Loreni Narberth game, that was a cracker actually. Loreni winning by 1 run. Loreni, it was also the highest scoring game by far in Division 1 on Saturday. Loreni batted first and were 244 for 5. And actually, God, you would say if you bat first and put 244 on the board,
that's a decent score.
You win the game, don't you? From there,
that's a decent score. It is a decent score, and I mean, Narberth can consider themselves very unlucky to get so close to lose that game. But it just goes to show that on the day, you have to produce the goods. Wow, and Narberth will be kicking themselves that they didn't quite get over the line.
Yeah, I mean,
so close.
Harry Thomas 78 for Loreni in that game. Yeah, really, really good knock. And Narberth got themselves so close. Ben Quatermain 54, 53 for Jamie McCormack. Narberth were 243 for 8, so they lost the game by 1 run. I think, having said that It's a hard score to chase that, and that's a winning score every day of the week.
Definitely.
Normally, Narberth will be annoyed with themselves. They did get so close, because to lose by one run.
Yeah, they certainly did the run chase just right, really. But unfortunately, in that final over, they didn't get enough runs to win it. But anyway, moving on to, I think it was the Cresselly game. If you've got that in front of you, Ben.
I have, yeah.
I think Cresselly batted first, and they had a very low score down in Tish. Was it 93, something like that?
Correct. I was going to mention this one as well, because that's
Cresselly got some very good batsmen, people like Simon Cole, Phil Williams, and the likes, and Matthew as well. They got some really good batsmen, so to struggle down there was something else. But then Tish, who will be kicking themselves as well for not actually getting, over the line on their own wicket. That's sport for you.
It's almost the opposite to what happened in that Loreni-Narberth game, isn't it? Cresselly was skittled. They batted first, so they were all out for 93. Phil Williams top scored with 21, but for Tish, Kevin Bowen 2 for 21, Lewis Reed 2 for 28. Stephen Williams finished with brilliant figures, 3 for 2. He finished with, and having dismissed Cresselly for 93, you would have thought, come on lads, we're going to win this game, and they'll be frustrated. Well bowled Cresselly as well, you have to say, because they bowled St Ishmael's out for 71 in that game. Simon Cole, you mentioned, good bat. He took 3 wickets.
He's a good all-rounder, Simon Cole. He's been around a long time, a lot of experience as well. So his experience came to the fore when he was bowling there.
And Christian Phillips as well took 3 for 20.
Another guy who's been around a long time as well. Yeah.
And St Ishmael's were all out for 71, so Cresselly got a win by 22 runs.
Yes. Down in Langham, I popped down there, and poor old Langham, they are struggling. They won't mind me saying it at the moment. They're struggling to get a strong side out for the first 11. And I mean, they came up against the champions as well, so it was always going to be a difficult day at the office, so to speak, and it proved that way. I think poor Langham were out for 60 odd runs, and then
87.
There you go, 87, and then you got the likes of Miller coming in, Sean. I've forgotten his name now. I shouldn't forget his name. Sean and the boy Murray,
Sean Hannon. Sean Hannon. Sean Hannon.
Paul
23.
67, I think.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Paul. No, he's a decent bat. And then the boy Hannon, he's a good foil. He stayed there. And Langham didn't even get a wicket, unfortunately. So they knocked that off pretty quickly.
They did, 93 for Norton and a win by 10 wickets. Paul Murray 67, having most of the runs. Sean Hannon chipping in with 23, and it was a big win there. We should mention in Division 2 we had a Centurion, didn't we? Toby Heyman of Burton scoring 100 for his side. Burton wrapped up a really impressive win against Sleckryd. Sleckryd were 159 for 7, and Burton chased that without losing a wicket, 160 for 0.
Yeah, Dan Llewellyn was with Toby as well. They knocked it off, and apparently there was sea mist in that area.
Was there?
Yeah, it was really bad. It was like fog there, and visibility was pretty poor. But Toby certainly had his eye in on Saturday. So perhaps he's hoping for sea mist in Burton this coming weekend, so that he can continue on his, getting the runs. He's a class act, this Toby Heyman.
Yeah,
he's a really good batsman.
Well done to him for getting that. And Carew seconds topped the table after 2 games, Burton second and Herbrandston third. And I'll just pick out some other sort of notable matches from across the divisions, actually, because there were plenty of games played, and there was quite a few low scoring ones, as we've said. In Division 3, Burton seconds almost defended a low total as well. They were all out for 65. And lost to Stackpole by 3 wickets. So they had Stackpole 66 for 7. So they just got over the line as well in another absolute nail biter. Can you imagine that one? Low score of the day. I don't know which team Fraser was in. He's not with us tonight. But Sam Ryan,
the second team.
Well,
Sam Ryan definitely not on the first team, because I went to Hook and he wasn't there. Sam
Ryan seconds were all out for 31 in Division 4 on on Saturday. They batted second as well, so it would have been a long afternoon in the field. 169 for 5 Hundleton, and Llanrhian all out for 31. So I don't know whether that's why Fraser's not with us right now. But
he's probably bitterly disappointed, Ben. He normally knocks off a half century in the second team cricket, so
he does.
He's probably sulking. I know what he's like.
Tricky start to the season, I think, for Llanrhian seconds by the sounds of it. In Division 5 as well, we had just 2 matches played, and again they were low scoring. With no side got over 3 figures in Division 5, and similar in Division 6. I will call this fixture out, Gordon, Division 6, because you don't see this very often. Kilgetty seconds and Haverfordwest fourths.
Yeah.
Tied.
Ooh,
so
okay.
I actually don't know who batted first. So maybe someone who played in this game can tell us. But both sides were all out for 55.
That's incredible, isn't it?
That is
really
incredible.
Is incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if anyone can give us any details of that, because
it doesn't happen that often, Ben, but it's good to see a tied game. Yeah.
I was going to say, I don't know. Can you ever remember being involved in a tie or seeing a tie?
I didn't play one, but there has been quite a few over the years. But it doesn't happen that often.
Dramatic scenes in that one. Both sides 55 all out, and the game was a tie. If anyone watching has been involved with that game, let us know what happened. And if you've ever been involved with a tie, it's the rarest result in cricket, isn't it?
Oh yeah, definitely.
So much has to happen, and you can just imagine when whoever, I don't know who batted second, but when they were like 55 for 9 and then lost that last wicket, absolutely gutting right at the end.
Yeah.
But it's really good to see though, isn't it? Plenty of cricket played across all 6 divisions, lots of players in the wickets, quite a few people in the runs as well. Good to see, Gord. And actually a really busy weekend for clubs coming up now as we go into the bank holiday.
Oh yeah, we got a double header because of the weather now, Ben. We got fixtures on Saturday and we got fixtures on Monday. All we need now is a lovely weekend like the one that just went past. There is a little bit of rain about, I'm told, so we'll have to wait and see what happens on that score.
And how do you think teams will be feeling about that? And do you think teams will struggle to get 2 sides out in 3 days?
That was the reason they got rid of the bank holiday Mondays, to be honest with you. It's always difficult to get permission, not only off your wife or whatever, to play on 2 games over the weekend, the bank holiday weekend. That's why they just retorted back to the Saturdays. But unfortunately, they didn't have a lot of choice. They voted on it anyway, so they have to play Saturday and Monday, and they'll do the same at the end of August when that bank holiday comes around too.
Absolutely right. So a double header coming up across Pembrokeshire this weekend of all of our cricket sides. We'll run down those fixtures before the end of the show this evening. We will also take a look at what the new league structure looks like for our rugby sides. You'll remember we've covered on the show quite a bit. Tenby United got promoted, of course. Larne as well won their league. So we'll have a look at what the structure might look like for some of our sides before the end of the show. It was also the final day of the Premier League season yesterday. Guardiola's written his name into history. Man City's 4th title. It was never really in doubt yesterday, Gord, was it?
No, City have showed their class, and the last 4 or 5 games they've come in form at the right time. I hope they go out of form by Saturday. That's all I'm saying.
Small matter of the FA Cup final, of course, coming up this week.
I didn't mention it, but I just hope they're not in form
I wonder,
Saturday.
Is there a chance of an upset at Wembley?
There's always a chance of an upset, man.
There could be. I think there could be.
I don't know.
And one thing I am interested in, there's going to be a vote, I think it's this week, isn't it, about whether Premier League clubs scrap VAR as well.
What do you feel on that, Ben?
If I was voting, I would vote to keep it, personally, but I want it to work better. Yeah, I'd be interested what people watching think about it. How would you vote if you were voting as a?
Yeah, I would say keep it now. It's there, but I agree with what you're saying. The transparency of it needs to be better. Fans need to know what's going on, and we spoke about it before in previous shows that they should follow the rugby theme. They've got it off to a T, to be fair, when you watch it, and the rugby league as well.
I think it would be a backward step to get rid of it in the Premier League it's in every other competition. It's going to be in the Cymru Premier League next season. There's going to be a version of.
That's incredible to think that. But,
And if we could have a scenario where if teams voted against it in the Premier League, that the Cymru Premier has it and the Premier League doesn't. But I
Yeah,
just
that would be funny.
I don't think teams will vote to get rid of it. I would be interested to hear what people think, though. Should they get rid of VAR? I don't think it works perfectly. It doesn't work perfectly, but
No.
make it work better. It would be
Exactly.
the answer for me. So
Yeah, I agree with you.
give us your thoughts on that. We'll chat to Gareth Schofield as well in a few moments ahead of the Valero Sevens, which is coming up next month. Always good to talk to Gareth, and plenty more to come as well with Gordon Knight between now and 9 o'clock this Monday evening. We'll take a few moments. It's Pure West Sport.